two things we're going to show you. First, we'll show you this is now a Category 4 hurricane.
Hurricane Idalia making landfall just moments ago.
Hundreds of thousands were evacuated from the barrier islands.
First of all, the storm did make landfall. The landfall is in Keaton Beach.
It's going to be a long day, but of course, we're not going anywhere. We're here with you the whole time.
This is the power of Hurricane Idalia.
People had their dogs and whatever they needed to bring with them.
But that is, of course, a big concern for these low-lying areas around us right now.
We were told stay inside because coming out right now is not what you want to be doing.
So as Idalia hits Florida and then goes up the coast, this is something that we need to talk about, guys. I have covered this multiple times about why this exact thing is so important. And now we're at the day that we all knew was going to happen. We knew that hurricanes were going to hit Florida. I mean, it's Florida.
Well, duh.
We knew this was going to happen. And I tried to yell it, that this thing is so important for you to have, and that's insurance. Home insurance is important. I'm going to break down and explain to you why this trend of no home insurance is ridiculous. It is crazy.
Stop it. Get some help.
Do not do this. But before we jump into this, my name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because it really does help out the channel. Make sure you check out in the description and in a pinned comment, I have a newsletter, guys. A newsletter of things that I don't talk about on these videos. And you can't beat it, guys, because it's free. That's right, it's free. So go ahead and sign up for it, guys. Before we jump into this, I want to say firstly and foremost, I hope everyone is safe, that I hope that everybody was able to leave and evacuate, because that's number one. Number one thing is safety for you and your family. So I want to put that out there first before we jump into this topic of no insurance trends. So let's jump into it, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy. Americans are bailing on their home insurance. Some homeowners who are skipping coverage say that they can no longer afford rising premiums. Now, guys, let's be real. Let's be real. We have known this has been an issue. I have been stating over and over and over, what are the two things that are going to continue to go up? And I have said property taxes and home insurance. And home insurance, especially in these areas like Florida and the coast, you're going to pay an astronomical fee. And especially with Florida having the insurance problems going insolvent and all this other stuff, insurance companies bailing because they don't want to pay the high cost of losing money because they're in a hurricane zone that Florida constantly gets hit with, especially in hurricane season. As we are talking about it today, homeowners are increasingly foregoing home insurance, gambling that the likelihood of disaster isn't high enough to justify the cost of a policy. That sentence itself is an oxymoron. I mean, you're living in Florida. You have to know that the gamble is you're not going to win the gamble. There is going to be a hurricane in Florida. So for you to say, you know what, I don't have a mortgage on this home and I could possibly be ruined financially by this. If a natural disaster comes along, it's going to happen. You will be financially destroyed. You have to pay to rebuild or fix your home. Out of pocket, guys. Home insurance will never cost as much as it costs to rebuild the property. When you know that the state that you live in is extremely prone to hurricanes. Some skipping insurance say that they're doing this because they can no longer afford rising premiums. The national average for home insurance based on a $250,000 dwelling coverage increased this year to $1,428 annually, up 20% from 2022 based on bank rate. Now, in areas like Florida, it's even higher. $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 a year. Some areas, $15,000, $20,000 a year. Now, I know what you guys are saying.
I'm not paying that, Orlando. I'm not paying $15,000 to $20,000 a year for insurance, for home insurance. Do you know how that adds up?
And I would say to you, well, why are you living in Florida? Well, I understand. I understand you love the weather. I understand that you love going to the beaches. I understand that, you know, it's just a great state, no taxes, right? No state tax. That's like one of the biggest things other than the weather. I understand all of that. But if you can't afford to live in Florida, then you can't afford to live in Florida.
Write that down.
That means that you don't put yourself at risk. Guys, this is super important to me. It blows my mind that it just doesn't make sense if you can't afford to live in Florida to gamble and put your biggest asset, guys, your biggest asset on the line and gamble it and say, yeah, I'm willing to lose $600,000 plus, because it's just not going to be the value of the home, as I'm going to explain later. It's not just going to be that, guys. The risk of foregoing a policy are significant. When you don't have insurance and your home is destroyed by a fire or a hurricane, you don't just lose your house and its contents, you might have to pay for removing your home's remains, as well as the cost to rebuild it. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. We need you guys to hear. We need you to hear this. Listen to what I just said here. You might have to pay for removing the contents. Your home has just been destroyed. You have to get rid of all of that. You have to pay for that. The demolition, removal, all of that you have to pay for.
Oh, I feel like a big dork right now.
Now here's a kicker. You might have to pay for removing your home remains, as well as the cost to rebuild it. You may still have to pay for the cost to rebuild your home, even though you didn't have insurance. A lot of people think, this is a common myth, that people think that they could just walk away from the land and just leave it bare and nothing on there. No. You have to pay to remove all of the debris, all of the damaged wood and concrete. You're gonna have to remove all of that. Then you're gonna have to pay to rebuild it. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be forced to rebuild it and pay for it anyway. You just won't be able to walk away. Few people can financially withstand the loss of an uninsured home, according to financial advisors. Think about it, guys. If you're home and you're living in Florida and the hurricane just hit your home, now, of course, you're safe, everything's fine, but now you have to go through the rebuilding process and you don't have your house is not insured. Your house is not insured. You don't have any way. Even though we know how bad the Florida system is for insurance, if you don't have a leg to stand on, do you have $600,000 to $1 million to replace your home?
Wait, what?
If you don't have that, then what are you going to do? You are going to be financially ruined. And this is a thing that I've been trying to let people know, that yes, I understand Florida system is a joke when it comes to insurance, but you have to have a leg to stand on. I would never, ever advise anyone to buy a home and then don't put insurance on it.
You'll regret it, man. Trust me.
And say, you know what? I'm just going to throw it up in the wind and let's see what catches it. Because I can tell you what's going to catch it, the hurricane. And you're going to have to find a way to rebuild that home. Probably claim bankruptcy. Destroy your financial future for years and years and years to come. That 401k, it's gone. It's gone. And this is the thing that I'm talking about, that I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. No one wants to hear that, yes, I know I was in a hurricane and yes, everything is ruined. I know no one wants to hear this, especially now. I know no one wants to hear this. But it's so important that if you're going to move to an area that is prone for hurricanes, to make sure that your home is protected with insurance, guys. This isn't a foreign concept, but for some odd reason, this is a very popular thing. This is very popular, guys. People who have no debt on their home. That's right, zero. They have no mortgage on their home.
Awkward. So awkward.
They have $1 million property. $1 million property. The home is valued at $1 million plus. And they say,
I'm not going to pay $10,000 a year on home insurance in an area that's prone for hurricanes.
In the past 3 years or so, more people who own their homes without mortgages or have inherited a home are opting to drop insurance because they can't afford it and can't accept the current high price of home insurance. Now, I could just see it right now. Someone's like, oh, Orlando! Orlando, what are you talking about? What should we do then? Should I, if I can't afford it, I can't afford it. And I would say, sell the home.
That's it.
Why would you take a gamble on a $600,000 home that you paid off in a mortgage? Why would you take that risk? Think about it. Why would you take the risk of gambling that and holding onto a property with no insurance that you can't afford to rebuild? Why wouldn't you just sell it and take the money? I would prefer you to rent in Florida than to own in Florida if you can't afford the home insurance. At least in that scenario, you could pocket the money and live off of it, pocket the money, travel, pocket the money, go move somewhere else that's not Florida, and you could have the money rather than lose all of the money, the equity that's in the property, and then have to go into bankruptcy to prove a point that you're not going to pay home insurance in an area that has a 100% chance. This is the truth. 100% chance of a hurricane happening.
Just moments ago.
Happening. I mean, it's the truth, guys. It's harsh. It may be harsh to some people, but it is the truth. I just need you guys to listen to this portion because this makes no sense to me, but these are creative ways that people are trying to get around not paying insurance in an area that Mother Nature is gonna sweep it away. This is what they're doing. People with money are finding ways around the problem. A client of Angie in the coastal Florida figured that the total cost of replacing her vacation home and all of the contents would be about $1.5 million. His longtime insurance recently didn't renew his policy, and the only remaining insurance in the area was offering a policy with flood insurance for about $17,000 a year, up from about $7,000 a year that he had previously paid. Now, let's just make this really simple. $1.5 million of the contents and the home itself. Remember, this is a vacation home. This is a vacation home at $1.5 million to replace everything. The insurance would be $17,000 on a $1.5 million home. Now, I can understand the sticker shock because, like it says in here, it went up $7,000, which is ridiculous that it went up. But let's see what the alternative is. What is the creative way? The client separated the possible cost of repair and rebuilding from his other investable assets and invested the funds instead. So what he decided to do was, instead of paying the $17,000, I'm going to take the $17,000 and I'm going to invest that. And then it said he assumed that he could make an average return of 6% on the roughly $1.5 million while waiting for some other insurance to re-enter the market. Did you guys just listen to what I just read? So he's going to gamble on $1.5 million that he assumes that he's going to make 6% on that when there could be a hurricane coming before that happens. Where are we today?
Oh, crap.
You see how a hurricane just came out of nowhere and is destroying homes? Do you think he would have gained that 6% if he got hit by the hurricane, which is currently happening today? Do you think he would get that 6%? What happened to that, oh, wait mentality of,
instead of paying the 17%, I'm gonna wait annually until I can find a cheaper insurance.
See, this individual can now lose the $1.5 million. And the 6% that he was talking about, it doesn't matter. He never even reached to the end of the year to get the assumed 6% that he was talking about. This is my point, guys. I could talk about this all day, really, I could, because the math ain't mathin'. It doesn't make sense for you to put your biggest asset at risk. And this guy is doing it with an investment property, a vacation home, and he's putting $1.5 million at risk for $17,000 a year.
Use your common sense.
But guys, listen, I'm not gonna ramble on any more about this. My point is, do not gamble the biggest asset that you guys have on not paying insurance, right? Especially a place that is prone for tornadoes, hurricanes, flooding, all types of stuff is going to happen, and you know it's going to happen, and you're going to gamble it on not getting insurance because you don't want to pay the higher premiums. Do not do this, guys. Do not do this. Figure out a way to not put yourself at risk and gamble. You would be better off selling the property, guys, instead of holding on to a property that's going to take you into bankruptcy. Once again, I am hoping everyone is safe that is watching this video. If you are from Florida, I pray that you and your family are safe from the Hurricane Idalia that just hit, guys. As always, make sure you check out this video here, guys. You and I get all of your information from this one video. I need you to check it out because you will get financial news, housing market, craziness, and get it to your first rental property. And I promise you, the information you will get from this video, it will be gold. See you in the next one. Thanks.